What's up, YouTube Judge of all trades, and today I am giving y'all my review of Game of Thrones Season 7 Episode 1. Now, I'm going to talk very freely about the events of this episode, so if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead, hit the pause button, subscribe to my channel so you can find your way back, but watch this episode first because there's a lot of building of the narrative for what's going to happen in the rest of Season 7 in Episode 1. So watch that first, otherwise be prepared for spoilers, but I'm getting into it. I thought the episode opened super strong with the Arya Stark scene. I mean, going in and not only killing Old Man Frey like we saw last time, but killing all of them and completely finishing her vendetta that she had was very powerful indication of her character, who she's turned into as a person, but also her as a force in Season 7 and what she could be doing. We gotta talk about that Ed Sheeran cameo real quick. Like, she walks up on the campfire and Ed Sheeran is singing a song. Do you think he's gonna be a recurring character? Or was this just something that they snuck in for giggles and laughs in this episode? I really don't know. I don't see him sticking around, but it'd be interesting if he makes another cameo next time. Moving on, we gotta talk about the character that I want to win. I am definitely a Cersei Lannister fanboy. I think she's sacrificed more than everyone else. I think she's worked harder, and I think she deserves her position on the Iron Throne. Now, the question is, as she said herself, she has tons of enemies. And even her relationship with Jamie, we're seeing is getting a little fragmented at this point. They're beginning to have disagreements. And even Jamie saying, hey, all of our kids are gone. What are we doing this for anymore? But Cersei, I mean, she's on that level that she's saying, hey, we are the dynasty now. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for her character. I think she's gone through so much and she's endured so much that she can't let it go at this point. Like, more power to her. I think she needs to keep on pushing and she needs to take control. I mean, she's in a great position, and we have the introduction of kind of the new character that was set up at the end of Season 6, Euron. Now, I had seen some sort of headline where the actor who plays Euron Greyjoy is saying that this character is going to be absolutely insane. He's going to be crazier than Joffrey, and he's going to be crazier than Ramsay Bolton. And we definitely get that vibe that he's a little on the edge, but it's going to be very interesting to see how they develop this character and how the narrative between Cersei Lannister and Euron Greyjoy progresses, because it's kind of setting them up that they could be on the same team, but I think Cersei, probably even more so than Euron, is a little more volatile in her character, and she might be the one that we have to look out for as far as the plotting and the scheming and ultimately the backstabbing in this relationship. Another relationship that we saw some tension in was between Jon Snow and Sansa Stark, and they're trying to keep everything united and they're trying to keep their focus on the whitewalkers. But I think even though Sansa is aware that Littlefinger has been playing her this whole time, we see that when she was talking back to Jon, you know, Littlefinger was in the corner smiling about it. He was happy. So that guy is still plotting. And even though Sansa is really trying to resist, I think he still has control and he's still scheming and taking advantage of the situation that she's in. We can't forget, though, that Brandon Stark arrived at the Wall. And like I've said in my reviews to the trailers, I'm not super stoked about his character. I don't understand what he's been doing. He's been doing the three-eye raven thing, and he's like looking and finding information. But he hasn't proved himself very valuable in the past episodes, and I really need to see this guy make some power moves if he's going to be a character that I look forward to seeing in the future episodes. And let's not forget that Piggy got a lot of face time in this episode. I think that he's the character a lot of people relate to, that he's the guy. I mean, come on. He's stuck in a dead-end job. He's doing something that he doesn't want to be doing, but he's kind of got potential. Like, he's got his foot in the door that maybe something important could happen. He could become a maester, and he could be reading all these books and find out interesting stuff. And he ultimately played the situation to his advantage a little bit today. He stole some keys, and he's looking at some books. And the main thing that we got out of that is that at the Wall, they're going to need some dragon glass to kill the White Walkers. And Daenerys Targaryen and many of the other characters are converging on Dragonstone, where all the dragon glass is. So we have this point where everyone's heading to, and we're going to see conflicts between not just the people that we expect, and not just the Lannisters and the Starks, or Jon Snow and the Free Folk and the White Walkers and everyone at the North, but we got everyone in the mix, and they're all going to be at this one spot in Dragonstone. And this episode is very appropriately named for that geographic location. And in the very last scene, Daenerys Targaryen arrives with all of her crew, at Dragonstone, and it was nice. It was almost like a welcome home scene. I gotta say, the place looked pretty empty, and I don't understand that. There's just a giant, amazing castle, and like there's no squatters, and there's no real damage to it. It's in general upkeep and good condition. I don't understand that. It's a little bit of a coincidence for me. That being said, though, I'm still excited about her character. I like Daenerys Targaryen. I like Tyrion Lannister. I like all those folks, and I want to see their interactions. And we didn't actually get a whole lot of face time from those set of characters. We didn't get a lot of dialogue between them. But like I said, this is episode 1 of season 7, and we're setting up for future events. So we got them sitting in a good spot, and I'm looking forward to how that's going to end up. So all in all, there was a little bit of a lull because, hey, we're just setting up for the next episodes. There wasn't a whole lot of action in this episode, but I did enjoy season 7, episode 1. It was fun to watch. It was fun to get my feet back into Game of Thrones mode. Now I'm thinking about where are we going with this show. Y'all hit me with a comment below, but I was not expecting the giant White Walkers to be brought back to life. I did not see that coming at all. And tell me if you liked it or if you thought it was cheesy, because at first I thought it was a little cheesy, but for like 5 seconds and I got over it, and I'm looking forward to that now. But something I'm really looking forward to is the little interaction we had with the Hound at the end. That the Hound has always been this character, this like masculine, brawny, violent person that has a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to do something redeeming. He wants to be a good guy, and I think he's finally getting his chance, even though I don't particularly like Beric Dondarrion and that crew, and I don't like the whole like light god narrative. I think that he's in a position, at least the Hound with these guys, that as a whole and as a collective they could be used for this greater good in the fight against the White Walkers, and that might be the redeeming thing that the Hound needs to free himself. And then finally, Arya Stark. I mean, she is the money right now. It was so funny in that scene when she had Ed Sheeran and company around her, and she says, "Oh, I'm going to kill the queen," and everyone laughs at her, but it's kind of true though. And I'm not keeping track, but I think she has most of the names checked off of her hit list. So now she's really going for Cersei Lannister, and she has the knowledge, she has the skills, she has the intelligence. Let's just see if she can get close enough to Cersei to go through and see if she can actually murder her. And I am very, very interested to see if that happens. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about where this show's going for season 7, what your highlights from this episode were. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to Josh of All Trades. I'll be doing reviews for Game of Thrones each week after the episode. Hit the thumbs up to like this video. I'll take that as a personal favor, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.